now that I have started the recording, yes, we will recap. So, last week, you completed your battle against the mini faces of Narcissus Ven with the help of a couple wishes, one possibly not great and one very useful. You managed to narrowly keep the Ifrit away from Narcissus, which did entail casting him into wherever the box leads, this desert wasteland that Pear visited. That you're still really not sure where it is, and now which you cannot get back to, because the magic that was attempting to ensnare the Ifrit is now ensnaring the box and preventing you from opening it. After you eventually said your goodbyes to your companions, and they started to make their way away, Malgar headed topside, being the only one of you who can still safely travel the streets. While up there, he encountered a few things of interest and found out that there was a meeting of numerous very important individuals currently being held at Niv-Mizzet's office, his base of operations, in order to try to ascertain an answer to why the stars had disappeared in the shape of a pair of dragon wings. One of Malgar's associates did bring news of this back to the group, so the group are aware that swathes of stars have vanished.
And there's also a lot of arsons going on, right?
Yes, there were also a number of arsons going on all over the city, including at the university. And as we ended the game, Malgar had made his way to Niv-Mizzet's, asking for an audience with the Azorius.
How the fuck he get to miss it? I want to go there. I want to meet him. Fuck.
Well, he tried to demand entry into the meeting itself with all of the heads. They would not let him into that room, but instead they ushered him under guard into a side chamber, where it was explained to him that should she deem what he had said to the guards to be worthy of her attention, then Lavinia would offer him a meeting.
Yeah.
And he was waiting there to see if she arrives.
Just checking, what did you say to Gain? I've forgotten. Like,
well, I told the guards that there was an infiltration, or that the guild pact had been compromised by doppelgangers, and I gave them as I was standing in front of them, I took off the ring that had my disguise on and gave the ring to them as sort of a extra proof.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he revealed that he was being deceptive to them, and in the same breath told them that the guild pact had been compromised.
Yeah, that's believable. Can I?
So it's a great way to get their attention.
Yeah. So I missed this because I was traveling with work this day, and I, of course, while you were doing the recap, lost my internet for a second there. There was the best timing in that's the best timing in the world. Can I ask you just plainly and simply, is there anything directly that I should know? We fixed the Ifrit. I haven't been able to look at the video yet.
The biggest points that Velen would be aware of is that the way that you the way that the Vins did not get the Ifrit is because he was sent through the black box. And the magic that was trying to bind him is now binding around the black box, causing agony to anyone who touches it. You also would have been told by one of Malgar's companions or associates after a trip to the surface that while you have been down here fighting the Vens, a series of arsons have happened all over the city. And in a event that has panicked the entire city, a number of these stars have gone out, forming in the sky the shadow of 2 black dragon wings.
I'm sure that's fine.
Actually, I remember parts of this. Apparently, I was here or not here. Not sure. Either way, I remember.
You were here, but you were very tired. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was the day I was barely able.
You
to
left out one thing too.
Yeah.
One of the ways we helped prevent them getting the genie was Nikolai kind of.
Yeah.
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 Nikolai sacrificed himself to the Ifrit to help.
Yeah, I remember this.
Away.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the day I was feeling.
Poor
completely
Nikolai.
up, so, yeah, that's fine.
He got Rorschached.
Yeah. And also, your sword got it. Kim, your sword got an upgrade in the battle.
Yeah, I remember this.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
That I do remember.
It is an upgrade. All right.
I know you fucked me over.
The sword is statistically better than it was. That is an upgrade.
Casey just likes to mess with my gear because he knows he gets me going.
The sword went from +1 to +2. Is that not an upgrade?
No, not when I get the demonic entity or whatever entity on the other end. That's evil. It's sucking up everything I do with it. No, that's not an upgrade. At best, a side grade, depending on which way you want to go.
I don't.
But it's still not a downgrade.
So, I'm going to let you guys decide. Are we going to start out with the group underground, having just heard the news about the wings in the sky, or are we going to start out with Malgar in Niv-Mizzet's?
That depends on. I mean, kind of up to you guys, but we were using the blood of the doppelgangers to unlock some of the research.
Yeah. I don't mind if you guys start because I'm still eating my dinner, so yeah.
Okay.
That way I wouldn't have to speak all the time with a food full of mouth.
He wants to delay the
mouth full of food. Food full of mouth.
A food full of mouth. I mean, that depends entirely on how you eat.
Yeah.
Or what you eat.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are still in the rot farm where all of this has happened. You've been looking through those pages. You are going to continue trying to kind of piece together things there. Give me an Arcana roll.
Sure. We were writing in the thing about which process I was using for deciphering this. If you remember, and do I? Because hang on. Where are my companions? There. One of them are dead. So yeah. Because Styx is helping. Do I have advantage?
Yes, why not?
Fuck. Styx is better than me in Arcana. That's not good. That's not good.
That's your own fault there.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you wanted help, you could ask.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like, is it tinkering with a black magic box and secret note papers?
No, you're not doing anything with the box right
That's
now.
true. That's true. That's later. These are research of his notes.
And then give me 2 more rolls with advantage. And then give me 2 rolls just normal without advantage.
Okay. Fuck, that's 2 more with advantage. 15. Oh, a crit. That's important. That's important. And now just a normal Arcana roll.
Yep.
Yeah. 18 and one last one. I mean, the average is pretty good.
Yeah.
22, 15, 23 with a nat crit, 18 and 21. You did very well there.
With a +3, you guys.
Yeah, that's actually quite insane.
Cedric does not have the intelligence score for Arcana.
Okay.
I wonder if Cedric has the intelligence score for, living.
So, without trying to break down every individual page that you're deciphering here, you are able to piece together enough of the various different machines to kind of get an idea for what was being built. Give me just a second.
It's like, what the fuck did he build? Gotta check notes.
Oh, no. I know what he built. I'm just working out exactly how to...
It's a typewriter.
Yes, he built a typewriter. So, as you start to put these various things together, with those rolls, you actually do start to realize that you're looking at several components, but they actually go into building. You start to realize why you were confused at first when you first caught glimpses of this, is because all of these components do not build one device. All of these components go together to build 2 separate devices. And it's only now that you're starting to realize that. The first of these devices seems to have 3 primary functions, 2 of which you have been able to ascertain by the notes that you've been able to decipher. The first ability of this device, we'll call it device 1 for now, is that it allows you to glimpse the near future.
Fuck.
And the second ability of 3 of device 1 is that it allows you to spend life force rather than magical might in order to influence the future as seen.
Oh.
You also have been able to work out from this that device 1 has a third property, but because you've not been able to decipher all of the notes, you've not been able to work out what that is.
Sure.
Now then, the second device Just working out what you've been able to uncover about it. The second device seems to actually be not so much an item of power itself as it is a way to control an item of power.
Mm-hmm.
And although you've not been able to ascertain everything about it, you do know that the item which this device is supposed to control is hidden somewhere in Orzaka.
Orsaka. Do I know what that is? Orsaka?
Give me a history. Give me an intelligence roll.
Shit.
I would allow Arcana. I would allow Arcana.
Okay, whatever.
I'm surprised Chris is not swearing at me yet.
Oh, what? I'm doing like 9 things at once here right now. Because I'm still trying to figure out why my notebook isn't syncing, because I kind of need that to sync.
Okay, good.
Okay,
I mean,
long as
I
you're not
know.
actually-
I am listening.
Yeah. He
But
will
Dogan
write
doesn't know
down
this stuff, therefore I'm not going to start cursing.
No, this is what I'm saying. I'm surprised Chris isn't cursing, not
Oh
Dover.
yeah, no, I don't know why you would do that to us. You're an awful person. Yada yada yada. Usual. At this point, I'm used to it.
Yeah, he will just write down the things without like, oh, I failed history in school, so I don't know what this is.
So that is the place.
Is
You
there?
also
Oh yeah, go ahead.
you also know that the item in Orzaka was created by Azor himself.
Sorry, who's that?
Ooh.
Who's that?
Okay, now I'm really gonna start to
Okay.
worry.
Madman, this is something that your character would know. I'm not even going to ask for a roll on this.
Can I
Okay.
say it?
Azor,
Can I
go
say
for
it?
it.
Azor the First,
Go for it.
founder of the Azorius League.
Yeah.
Not the Azorius League, the Azorius Senate. He's their Perun, like Niv Mizzet is yours.
He's
He's
a
also been
Sphinx.
missing. He's also been missing for a very long time from Ravnica.
Yes, thousands of years. He's also a Sphinx, by the way.
Oh, okay. That's
Yep.
good.
It's believed that all Sphinxes on Ravnica descend from him.
Huh. So basically, this is Cedric reading, yeah, and then Jesus made this thing. What? That can't be right. Huh. Okay. Is there enough, like...
Here you go, Madman. I'm just going to link you an image that is a fairly famous image that you would have seen if you've ever visited the halls of the Azorius. That is Azor the First.
He has a blue beard. He looks like a dwarf on a Sphinx.
He is the creator of the original Guild Pact
Oh,
and the
He's the one
implicit
that
maze.
wrote the Guild Pact. Yes.
And he's the one who created the implicit maze as a failsafe in case the Guild Pact failed.
huh.
Yeah, he is.
I will write him down as blue beard dude.
There is a reason why when people have talked about, the whole thing about if the maze had been run wrong, it would have brought about the judgment of Azor, which is the thing that would have destroyed the world.
So he's a powerful dude.
That's why I'm saying you don't need a history check to know him. Everybody knows Azor.
Okay.
At least in some capacity.
One last thing. Is there enough? Are there any schematics on the first or second device, or at least enough so one could start like trying to fill out the blanks?
You have partial schematics for both devices.
Mm-hmm.
More of the second than the first.
Okay. Write that down.
I'll say you have 50% of the schematics for device 1 and 75% for device 2.
Weird. Okay.
And yes, shit. Okay. Cool.
Your shit. Got it. Yeah.
No. Yeah, that too. But I'm thinking like this maybe something. Try to figure out the rest, considering someone already has a ball rolling. Okay. Thank you. That was my research.
Give me one more just flat intelligence check to see if you realize something.
Nothing has happened. Oh yeah, that's about right.
Not a clue.
Yeah. Nope.
So back and forth. It's ridiculous.
You need Arcana, roll a nat 20. You need Intelligence, roll a 7.
No, but it's not only that. It's the times when he's like, "Oh, I can solve the world's puzzles as soon as I find my glasses."
Yeah.
I can solve all the world's problems, Butterfly.
Yeah. Butterfly. Lunch.
What was I thinking about again?
Yeah.
I always go back to the Twilight Zone episode.
There was time now. There was time.
The end of the world, and the only man left alive, with every book in the world in a library. He sits down, finally having time to read the knowledge of the world, and as he sits down, he breaks his glasses.
If I remember correctly, that was John Hurt.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Brilliant one. I love the old Twilight Zones, though.
I still need to see the new series.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a new series?
Yeah.
The only thing I know about Twilight Zone is from sketches about the Twilight Zone. Like,
you cut out there. There's a new series, and then it cut out.
He said the only thing he knows about Twilight Zone are from sketches about the Twilight Zone.
yes.
Okay. So are any of the rest of you doing anything else while Zedric works on these pages?
Dovin, now calmed down, is slowly going about and casting Mending as he puts each individual piece of his window back from throwing the stool through it.
I'm gonna spend a lot of time trying to figure out who the person on the other end of this sword is.
You're
Bella's
gonna...
just sitting there going, "Hello? What?"
No, I'm more like research. I don't have much to research with, do I?
I mean, there's libraries down here. Just, if you don't mind moldy books.
I don't.
Give me an Arcana roll, Kim.
Sorry, I was just counting my blessings before I roll. Oh, baby. Stop.
Do you have advantage on the roll?
Not from anything other than the fact that I'm a witch hunter, if that helps. I know about bad items and bad people.
No.
I mean, it's still a 21.
It is still a 21, yes.
But it's only 13 on the dice, that's my problem.
It's still a 21!
But it's like, yes, there are 1,000 bad guys out there. I narrowed it down to 50. That is not really helpful.
Sure it is. 1,000 to 50? That's a pretty substantial cut down.
Yeah, but it's not one. That's my logic. It's a failure in my eyes.
Yeah.
I guess I'm one.
He is talking to that sword and like a turtle lays on its back. Belly's hot in the sun. Why are you not helping it?
You're looking at moral decisions. So we're talking about the rabbit and the hare and the
Turtles.
tortoise. Yeah.
I'm just thinking Blade Runner questions. It's much better.
Yeah. Never was a fan of those. No, I'm gonna go like moral decisions.
There you go, Kim.
Oh my! Oh, Malgar.
What?
You no nothing. Asat. Sorry, didn't mean that. just clearing my lungs.
Vedan, could you be quiet with your panic screaming over here? We're doing research. He's talking to his sword. Crazy guy. I have a Rubik's cube.
So is anyone else doing anything else?
Well, if you guys are finished, I guess I'm ready to do my part.
Okay. Here we go then. This is where things get interesting. Malgar, you wait in this room under guard for probably 20, maybe 25 minutes. And then you hear the door open.
Yep.
And you turn and look towards the door. As you do, roll me a wisdom save with disadvantage.
Wow.
Holy shit. How do you roll 2 20s?
Nice.
That's pretty impressive.
Double 16? Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, yeah, 16 on the die still, but
Yeah.
20 in total.
That's yeah, it's a good start. Or it might not be.
You, as you turn to the door, you see a young woman wearing silver armor with a flowing blue cloak. And as she enters the room, for just a moment, you start to feel your body lock up.
Yeah.
Almost a paralysis.
Whole
As
person,
you look,
gotta love it.
but then you manage to fight it off, and you're still kind of standing still, nervously looking at her, but you're no longer magically compelled to do so.
Oh.
Just for the record, I will go ahead and show. This is who you are looking at.
Okay.
Ooh.
She does not have her owl with her at this moment.
She's a changeling. Stab her in the neck.
Yeah.
He can't. He gave up his weapons.
Damn it. Fight her in the
He
neck.
did give up his weapons.
It can't
Yeah, I
attack.
already did. I'll just say your spell failed, but I pose no threat.
Wow. That's like going to a cop. I'm immune to pepper spray.
Yeah, they spray you in the face, and then they taser you, and you go, it's fine.
She kind of you see a twitch on her face that you probably might actually even recognize from perhaps maybe Velen. It's that expression of someone who does not smile often, who almost smiles and then doesn't, and it's there for just a moment. And she kind of looks at you after she has that expression. She says, "I cast no spell. It is simply an ability which I possess, though I do appreciate your honest appraisal. It is more than many would have said.
Yeah.
Now, you are interfering with a very critical moment in this world's history.
And I believe I possess...
say is of value.
Yes. As I have told your guards, me and some of my companions have discovered that the Guild Pact has been infiltrated, at least compromised, by doppelgangers.
How have you uncovered this?
Well, a few weeks.
You do notice, just before you start answering, you notice that her expression, there is no surprise, there is no reaction. It's just very matter of fact. You have said this thing. Give me evidence.
Yeah.
Look, guys, there's lizard people in the government.
Yeah, and she does not bat an eyelash at it.
Like, yeah, of course there are lizard people, but you gotta be more specific, man.
Well,
yeah. So, a few weeks back, it's been a couple of weeks, right?
It's only been a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been you're over a week, but under 2.
Yeah. Like it's been a long fucking week.
Quickly.
Yeah. So about a 10-day ago, me and some others from different guilds were summoned or received summons by an official at the Guild Pact. His name was Narcissus Venn. Or at least we thought he was an official at the Guild Pact, but it turns out he may have, he and others of his kind, it seems, doppelgangers, has infiltrated the Guild Pact, and they gave us orders to, two sets of orders. We could choose which one. The first one was to I basically relay the whole story back to her as it happened.
It all started many moons ago.
Thousands of years ago. Do
you edit the story at all, or do you just tell her all of it?
I tell her all of it from the perspective that I know of. About how, Rakdos ate that foreman guy, and how the others are now in the possession of the only piece of evidence that we actually possess at this moment.
The only piece of evidence you didn't give to the changelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you put it that way, shit. The only reaction, as you're saying all of this, as you start, the first time you say his name, you do notice that she looks over at one of the Azorius guards who entered the room behind her and just gives a very quick glance and then turns back to you. Other than that, she stands there emotionless, just listening. You can tell very intently to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And as she's there, she kind of, as you come to a close, she kind of thinks for a moment, and she says, and she kind of, she relays the kind of the bullet points back to you. She says, you were recruited by Narcissus Venn, ostensibly a member of the Guild Pact. And as she says that, the guard that she looked at before actually hands over a scroll to her that he had been digging through a pouch for, and unrolls it. And she looks at it and she says, Narcissus Venn, Velkiden, a minor functionary of the Guild Pact, was reported missing 28 days ago.
Dun dun dun.
And she continues through, and she She recaps what you said about the boiler works, about Rakdos and Rixmati, about the dollhouse.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you
And I
tell
will
them everything?
also tell her of the speculations we have made as to that labyrinth. What was it called? The maze
The
runner.
implicit maze.
Yeah, implicit maze, and how
Yeah.
they may have. Yeah.
Give me a history roll if you've got one, or an intelligence roll.
I want to point out me and Mad Matt are trying not to laugh.
Oh, you are laughing. I'm just having like a small panic attack. Because
I may have informed him about what happened to her in the story.
I was googling what you said and like, oh no. Never mind. Never mind. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything is
History
awesome.
14.
It's fine.
With that 14, you are actually aware, as you're describing all of this, the realization comes to you that she was the Azorius maze runner.
All right.
So she is very implicitly aware of those events.
Really? Those are the choice of words you're taking?
Yes, that is the choice of words I'm taking. He only got a 14.
No, I mean about the implicit maze.
Yep, that is where I went with it. I chose to go with that pun. Yes.
Yep.
Give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right.
And I also, I tell her about other sort of speculations we've made that it seems to me, at least, that we have been set up to be a scapegoat. At least, and for them to take our places as they attacked us. So yeah. That is all the information I have at this point. I will gladly share it again. If you need me to agree to a zone of truth or something like that, I will, of course, oblige. But at this moment, my compatriots are still down in the Undercity. They possess the other pieces of evidence that we have. And I am not sure that they are safe.
Sorry, my connection froze. I got at this moment.
At this moment, I am. Well, what was I saying?
Zone of truth that you wanted. That you were okay with that.
I heard the zone of truth bit.
Yeah. So I'm saying at this moment that the rest of my compatriots are down in the Undercity, and they are still in possession, as far as I know, of the evidence that we have, and that they are quite possibly not safe if these doppelgangers attack again. That we have a short window of some peace, I assume, before they try to assassinate us again.
Yeah,
what is her...
Sorry.
What is her reaction, by the way, when I tell her about the Efreet?
About the same as her reaction when you told her all of the rest of this.
Yep.
There is not one.
Because I do have.
Lavinia is known to be very stoic.
But I do have quite a keen eye. Still. So.
Okay, roll me insight.
All right. No. Probably not good enough. That was investigation. Sorry. Insight is the same modifier. So.
Okay. I will give you this much. You can tell that much of this information is definitely new to her, and that she does find some of it at least somewhat worrying, but she has an amazing poker face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is just very much. Her face is stone. And as kind of all of this, she kind of takes a breath and she says, This goes against many of the tenets of the Azorius. Something which, in only recent years, I would have found abhorrent. Though, in time, I have found that sometimes we must honor the spirit of a thing rather than the thing itself. So rather than chaining you, interrogating you, and properly documenting your full confession, as would be the right of the Azorius in such a situation, after one has admitted to what is effectively aiding and abetting treason, I am instead going to trust you. Somewhat, at least. I feel that you and your allies may well be unwittingly involved in something larger than you could possibly know. Fetch the others. Bring them here. We have much to discuss, and there are many others who will be very interested in hearing the things that you have revealed today.
I will do so immediately. Do I have... If we are apprehended as soon as they reach the surface, because they are still wanted.
As she turns to leave the room, she looks at the Velkiden guard who came in with her, and she says, Greta, go with him, and on my seal, bring them directly here. And the Velkiden just bows.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then I go up to the guards and ask for my weapons back.
I'm good.
And they provide them.
Yep.
What was that? What was that, Chris?
You didn't see. I put my hands over my mouth and started screaming because I know what happened to her in the story, and I'm hoping you change that part of the timeline. Otherwise,
I have no idea.
she got possessed by Nicol Bolas.
Oh. And who's that again?
Big mean dragon tried to destroy Ravnica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really hoping you change that part of her. Oh, of course, she could also be a doppelganger, in which case we're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are lots of ways.
I don't trust anything right now.
You should see. You should see my chat to Madman. It's like.
Oh,
yeah.
Kim, go ahead and show that image that you had of Nicol Bolas there.
Yeah, I can. Give me 1 second. Then it's an old goodie.
Is it the original art from the when he wasn't a planeswalker?
Yeah.
I love that card.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh no, that's got.
That's not the original.
Oh no,
that's
the. Oh yeah, that's the other one. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think we should, out of principle, cut every person we talk with just to check if they're a doppelganger.
How do we do that?
Well, we have a knife, and
he
then
said we
cut
got them.
All right. Okay.
them.
Yeah.
And then if they don't change back, then they're free. It's like witch trials.
Yeah. Okay,
And
now we trust
obviously,
you,
if they float,
and you're
they're a
dead.
witch.
Yeah. If they sink, then they're innocent. If they float, they're a witch. And then we have to burn them.
Yeah. Can I roll a check of some kind just to see if I've heard of doppelgangers having the ability to paralyze people without doing any kind of obvious gestures of any kind.
That's more vampire.
Roll me Arcana.
Mhm.
You have not heard of that, no.
No.
If me and Chris are in the same area, I'm going to be telling Chris, by the way, if that's okay, Casey, about what I discovered.
Yeah, certainly. By all means. You're all down there, so.
Yeah, I'll text you, Chris.
Okie dokie.
No.
So yeah, I'm just going to assume at this moment that she is not a doppelganger. Even though it was in the back of my mind the whole time, but yeah. So, and then I'll take with me the Vidalkin and
Yeah, I don't trust anything.
them
Anything
to-
anyone can be.
yeah, back to where we were.
Is it Lavinia or Greta you don't trust?
Anyone. All of them. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust no one.
Thing is,
He might be a
I mean,
doppelganger.
if
I've never seen him bleed.
if this is the real Lavinia, that's the straight shooter as you get, but it has to be the real Lavinia.
Yep. So I'm just going to hope that this is actually the persons we're talking to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Things. I don't know. Can be anyone.
And yep. Head back to the. Is it the Spore Farm or the Rot Farm this
The
time?
rat farm, the spore farm's been got turned over to that one guy, and then I ratted him out to the Demir. So
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, he was not very happy with that, by the way.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily know it was him.
He assumes.
You saw what I wrote there, by the way, Chris.
it didn't ping me, so you gotta give me a second because I actually didn't see it.
What? It's literally, you couldn't have made more a perfect bubble of everything going around in a circle if you wanted to, huh?
Are you trying to say that I write, convoluted storylines?
No, this is not convoluted at all.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, you're starting to see what I mean now, yeah?
Fantasticles. I kind of figured that's who it was linking back to anyway.
Yeah, but it's more the detail of how everything, like, little pieces come together, yeah?
Yeah.
I will tell. Was it Greta?
Yep.
That the ones we are going to, they are probably very paranoid at this point, and they may choose not to trust either me or you. And I am not a persuasive man. I will say that much. I'm just an honest man.
She kind of looks at you with this cold stare and speaks very softly, and she says, "The Lady Lavinia has decreed that they are to address the council. You can bring them back with you to the council, or I can summon the might of the Azorius, and they will be brought to the council."
Already tried that, didn't work. We stayed underground, it's fine. We circumvent them for like 3 days. We're basically untouchable.
More than 3 days at this point.
Yeah.
Well, they will probably be expecting me back anytime soon, though. So yeah, let's just go there. Try it the easy way first.
Mm-hmm. And she just nods and falls into step behind you.
All right.
Very much like Lavinia herself, you get the impression that this is kind of her protege in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And she has that same stone demeanor of, even whenever she spoke, she wasn't making a threat. It was just a statement. That's just how it is.
Yep.
And of course, these are the consequences if it was not to happen.
Yep. So, yep, I'll do my best to find my way back to them. I guess at this point we've been going back and forth quite a few times, so.
I don't trust.
Yep. You make your way back without any trouble. and you find the group still going about their various tasks.
Yeah. I'm.
All of the rest of you being quite jumpy at this point, I would say. Still, I'm not gonna make any perception rolls. You all notice as you see Malgar walking down the tunnel with a silver armored Velkadin wearing a Zorius livery, carrying a staff with a glowing ball of light at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into a defensive position with my.
Who the fuck
with
are
light.
you? Get back here! Oh no, stay away. I mean, one of the two. Do both.
That's far enough.
Yeah. It's. I'm back.
Cool. Mind if I ask you a question?
Sure.
How many days were we all in jail when we got arrested for the incident?
Are you asking all of us? Because
All.
well, only all of you. You three guys.
Yeah, it's him.
And Jury, of course.
Hang on.
Trick question.
Yes. I have this theory though, Dovan. Like, see, if we have some of the blood of the doppelgangers, we can actually unlock more of these
So,
research papers.
guys,
So if
before-
we cut him and bleed on the thing.
It's him.
I was considering sneaking up on you, but then I figured, yeah, they'd probably be. That's the way you're most.
After what you did on the stairs, that's not a good idea. Because I would probably kill you just for fun.
Well, still, it would be.
That's basically Greta there.
Oh. Oh right, you brought
I'm
more.
gonna ask now, is it Azorius Guild Mage?
Hmm?
I didn't see it right away. Is it Azorius Guild Mage?
It's actually the art from the Ravnica D&D book,
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
but it is actually based on, I think, one of the guild mages.
Yeah. So I trust
Who's your
Ceresia
friend?
made it to you.
yep,
All right, and she's safe. I hope.
yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I
Was
was.
stripped in the zombie fungus, but
Hmm. I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
I after some deliberation, I decided to go to where the council was meeting. I assume by now you've heard of this, the stars being out and the arsons going on. I surrendered myself to the Azorius and to Lavinia. Told her the entirety of our story, as I know it. And they have decided to let us be heard, so to speak. We are to present our case to the council as they are convening right now. And Greta here is, I take it, Lavinia's personal assistant of some kind.
I'm just saying, 100% of all the people will try to come, like, bring our evidence to have tried to kill us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like those odds.
So I'm gonna stand up from my defensive position. I'm gonna walk up to Greta, and I'm just gonna lean in, you know, like you do, and I'm gonna.
You smell her?
Okay.
Does she stink?
Dovin just looks at the Vidalk and goes, "I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm
sorry for him."
also looking a bit.
No, you don't detect anything.
No, you know what I'm smelling
I
for.
know
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
body odors I don't give a shit about.
Yeah. And she does not even react. She just kind of looks at you.
Well, she's clean. I'm gonna turn. Well, I'm gonna turn around and I'll just put my shield back.
That's so fucking creepy. I don't know what's like.
I've
Right.
stopped even trying to think about what's going on anymore. Just
Right. Okay. So.
And yeah, Greta is here, and she will make sure that you are not immediately arrested. I assume, anyway. But we should definitely head back to the council at once.
But what should we do about the BOX with the you know what?
He wasn't here when we found that out. The box can't be moved.
Ah, right.
Oh.
Totally.
Yeah,
Whatever magic they were using to try and bind the Ifrit, it's now binding the box. We can't touch it. And whatever they did killed a bunch of the land that they landed on. Nothing will grow there. I have to neutralize all the land.
So,
But we put it in a bigger box. It should be able to be transported now. Never mind. We can just leave it here. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, so Greta, the problem now is obviously that if we are all supposed to go, then we will leave behind our only piece of evidence at this point. Or more or less. It's the only piece of evidence, right?
No, we still have the dollhouse.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Casey, I don't know if I rolled for this last
sure.
time. I don't know if I rolled
You
for this
don't
last
have the dollhouse.
No,
Yeah,
the dollhouse is in the university.
Yeah, and the universe is currently burning. University, not the universe.
Casey, I don't know if I rolled for this last time. Did I? Can I roll to see if I think like an undead creature would be able to move the box?
You did roll for this last time, and I gave you the information that because of the energy that the box uses, either an undead creature could move the box, or an undead creature would be absorbed by the box and make the enchantment stronger. You're not sure which.
So Dobin looks and goes, I have an idea. Is it a 50-50 chance it'll work? I could raise a dredge to move the box. There's a chance that it'll be able to move the box, or there's a chance it'll make the enchantment stronger.
Well, I mean, it's already pretty strong, so I don't think it could get any worse.
Yeah.
So, what sort of... Is it... the aura around the box, does it keep us from being able to touch it?
It drains life from anything that tries to touch it.
And what about rope?
Right, we have put it in a bigger box, and I think we are able to like move the bigger box, right? Right, out of character. That's kind of what we.
I mean, yeah, we could move it with forceps, but the problem is it's very cumbersome to move forceps, and
Well, if it's the only option we have, then
I just have an image of us like trying to carry the thing with forceps and like slipping it. It's slipping out like every 5 feet.
Greta kind of looks at all of you and sighs. And I mean, is the box in view? I mean, it was.
I mean, the box is currently in a bigger wooden box.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, I mean, it was in the main area. It was.
Yeah. It's like now it's a big crate in the middle of the thing.
She walks over to it and she looks at it and she says, "This box."
That's the box holding the other box.
Yeah.
She kind of takes a breath and casts, and you see a floating disc appear and lift the box.
Oh.
Well, I don't know Tensor's floating disc, or I would have offered that. Now, wouldn't I have?
Okay, I guess.
And she turns and looks at you all and says, "Shall we depart?"
Yes.
I mean, hang on. I just need to. I'm gonna run inside. I'm gonna grab the curse blade.
Okay.
I'm gonna sheathe it. I'm gonna put it inside a cloth. I'll put it in my backpack.
Put it
It's
inside
still
a
Morningstar.
First.
Huh? What'd you say, Casey?
I say you say cursed. I mean,
Yeah.
empowered. It's an
Modified.
empowered blood.
Casey, would Styx still be here at this time, or would he have left by now? Because we can.
He
do
was
the research.
helping you, so yeah, that he may have still been here.
So,
In that case, I would just make sure, like, in that case, Styx would have seen all the notes that we have deciphered so far, and Cedric would roll up his nose and give them to Styx for safekeeping.
Does Styx ever use sling?
No, he has a fucking ball-bearing cannon.
Because then it would be sticks and stones can break your bones, you know?
I mean, it still works because he has a ball-bearing cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could put stones in that thing, and then the stones really could break your bones.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw an opportunity for a pun and I had to use it.
You know, I'm getting real tired of your punishment. Anyway,
Right. Before we head up topside, I'm just going to nip to the loo. I'll be 1 minute.
Okay.
I have to work on my punctuation. No.
No. Shut the fuck up. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not sure on these guys, or both me and Cedric aren't sure on any of these guys. So
I mean, neither is Dovin.
yeah, but I'm thinking that's why we shouldn't bring the schematics there, because they're not gonna give them anything. We might just lose something.
You could carry the schematics around with you, and nobody would know what the fuck they are.
Yeah, but they might steal them.
Who's gonna steal random ass paper from somebody?
Who wouldn't? It's a real
I
question.
wouldn't.
Well,
I'm fairly sure the only person that I know of that would steal random ass paper from somebody is Zedric.
Well, yeah, that's true.
He is the only one I know that would just go, ooh, this might be important. It's a shopping list. But
Hey.
there might be more here.
Yeah, there was. Okay, there wasn't. I put more stuff there.
Still free paper.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have evidence, you can just fabricate it, you know.
I mean, that's what cops in my country do all the time. I mean, what?
Yep.
Okay, I'm back. So, do you all head out?
Dovin signals after the Vidalcan.
I would be carrying the schematics anyway, considering after some reconstruction. I mean, I'm still carrying the schematics around. I'm just saying that Styx would have seen them, so if...
So you're not giving them sticks?
No. Styx has seen it and he has photographic memory. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I have a backup now. A backup hard drive. That
A backup hard drive.
Well, yeah, kinda.
I got nothing. Anyway,
He's talking about sticks being hard.
Fine.
Okay.
Don't even
So
joke
you
like
head.
that.
You head up top, and you are spotted a couple of times on your way to Niv-Mizzet's. And each time, Greta basically steps in front of you and shows her documentation, and you are allowed along your way.
On the second or third, when Cedric knows for sure it will work, he will just go diplomatic immunity.
the first time he says it, Dovin just goes whap.
Yeah, I shoot him straight in the head with my Desert Eagle.
At the point you say that, you're actually delayed for about 10 minutes as she explains the legal statutes of the fact that you do not, in fact, have diplomatic immunity.
Cedric regrets it all right away. Like, oh no, I didn't want. Oh no.
So now
Yes.
Cedric has an internal pain in his head and an external pain in his head.
It's not diplomatic immunity.
It reminds me of this Pokemon. What's it called again? Psyduck. That's the one.
Dramatic sidestepping. No, I'll just shut up. How about that?
Yeah.
I believe what we're in is called protective custody.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very, very much more accurate.
Mine sound way better.
Crap. I'm drawing a complete blank. What is the bloody name of is it Hull?
Nivix.
Nivix, thank you. Jeez. You know when you know something and it just will not come to
Tip of your
mind?
tongue, doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Nivix.
Nivix. Okay, so you make your way to Nivix. Zedric, you have been here before?
Yeah.
I mean, every Izzet has been here, but you've never been here knowing that you're about to walk into an audience with Niv Mizzet.
He's like having a panic sweat. He's like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, I will say it's easy enough to be aware that that Malgar would have known some of the other people in this meeting, and that he is willing to share that information. So you do know that in addition to Lavinia of the Azorius, Judith is also in attendance at the meeting.
Fantastic.
You've all had a run-in with Judith before.
That's right.
Yeah, just reminding you in character that you do know that name.
Mm-hmm.
Imara Tandris is also there.
Judith. Is that... Oh shit, that's her? Okay, it took a while.
The Scourge Diva of Rakdos?
Yeah, no,
Judith.
I was
That
like,
Judith.
that sounds like a evil stepmom or something. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, we know a evil stepmom.
Yes, it is that Judith.
Ah, okay, shit. Fuck.
It's two lasers.
Imara Tandris is also there. Who you would probably know by
Who, sorry?
Imara
Amara
Tandris
Tundris.
Oh shit. Okay.
of the Selesnya. You also know that Kea is there, of the Orzov. Niv Mizzet, of course, is there. Jared is there, of the Golgari.
Yep, I'm well aware of who he is.
Feather. Yep, there he is. There's Jared. Feather of the Boros is there.
Oh,
That's odd.
That's not who I wanted to be there, and that's really weird.
And Vanifar is also there, of the Simic.
Why would Feather go into a meeting when they miss it?
Because you zapped Aurelia's strength, you dick.
I could have. You have a point.
You don't know why Feather is there instead of your guild leader. But I mean, there are a couple other non-guild leaders there. I mean, Kea
Yeah,
is
like
not.
as of right now, there's 2 maze runners in there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Imara.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a big one.
And she is not a guild leader.
No, but she will be in the
She's-
future.
She is powerful within her guild. The same
No,
goes
she
with
was-
Kea.
She was never
Yeah.
officially the guild leader. It's just she stepped
Well, standard,
in when
yeah.
Tristani
Yeah.
was at Discord.
But she is literally one of the reasons that War of the Spark goes the way it does, though. So
So which of the
She's
guilds are
insane.
not represented there?
You do not have a Gruul.
Which is not a surprise.
Who else do you not have there?
Demir.
You don't have a Demir. Which, I mean, the guilds almost never recognize the Demir as a guild. So that's not that uncommon.
There's no Demir there that we know of.
That anyone knows of.
That is the proper statement.
There's no Demir there as far as anyone knows.
I think that's the only two.
Yeah, there's 8 there, so those are the only 2 that are not represented.
And Gruel's not surprised because, like, hey, Gruel, come to a meeting. You.
Yeah, it's very hard to get the rampaging barbarians to come to a meeting.
Like, what do you mean I need to RSVP attendance?
Yeah.
There's not gonna be food. Oh!
There's no agenda on this event.
We put an invite in your calendar.
RSVP, is that rampage, slaughter, violate, and plunder?
Yeah.
Close enough. I mean, the only reason they got the Gruul there for the running of the maze was the offer of, godlike power.
I mean, that is an inciting offer.
Mm-hmm. So yes, you make your way to Nivix, and you are walked across the grand bridges into the inner sanctum.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
And you are led to the great golden doors of Niv-Mizzet's chambers. Now, Zedric, you have walked past these doors a couple of times. All of the is it due at some point or another, the whole, I'll just walk past slowly and maybe the doors will open.
Yeah,
and
like
just
maybe I'll
look.
catch it just as they finish the meeting. Maybe if I just, stay here for a little while, maybe it's just,
Yeah. But you have never seen inside this chamber. And you're left waiting out here for probably half an hour.
Cedric would be practicing how he would be saying hello. Hi. What's up? No. Greetings and no, that's just shit.
Just stand there and be silent.
No, and I'm having a panic attack.
Should we knock him out?
I don't want to miss this. This is so great.
And all the while, Dovin sat there thinking, fuck, Jared's there.
Someone's like, this could go one of two ways. Either the bastards that want him out of the guild are going to get what they want because Jared's going to kill me, or the bastards who don't want me out of the guild aren't going to get what they want because Jared's actually going to commend that I didn't, totally fuck up the guild in the process. Two options in this matter.
Yep. And meanwhile, Velen is thinking, why is Feather here? That doesn't make any sense.
That's kind of going through my brain up and down. I still don't get it because Feather would never go into let anybody take her step in for when she's dealing with the miss it ever. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Maybe it doesn't. I am curious, though, what is Malgar's reaction to the fact that Venifar is here?
I have no idea who that is.
Leader of the Simic Combine.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's your
okay, yeah.
boss.
All right. And what?
The speaker of the Simic. He is she rather, is a elf, ostensibly, who is also kind of part ooze. She kind of experimented on herself a bit, so she's part elf and part proto ooze.
So anime slime girl.
Not really.
Not that
Something
silly.
like-
I've already found the art.
Have you? Okay, go for it.
Yeah, she's not like that. She's very different than what you think. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Ooze tentacles. Elf upper
Ugh.
half.
That's just weird. I'm sure that's some kind of fetish online, but
I mean, yes. What isn't?
that's true.
It's like young thin Ursula.
I mean, that sounds Ursula, like from
Little Mermaid.
Oh shit! I thought Dalmatians. That's Cruella de
No,
Vil.
that's Cruella.
Yeah. I misremembered my
All right.
Disney.
Yes. Yes.
And what do I know of her as what sort of personality?
Hold on just a second, guys. Hold on just a second. Sorry.
Out of character, do you guys think that we should go with the poem thing? Okay, never mind.
Poem.
Shit, I don't know. Have I told you guys about that in character? Maybe I
Nope.
haven't. Out of character?
Nope. I have no clue what the hell
I
you're
have
talking
no
about.
idea what you're on about. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Great. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you-
think. Yeah, I remember something about a poem.
Oh yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
in my notes somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
I'm more worried about the guild leaders that are here. This feels like a political power play.
Well, I mean, anytime basically world leaders meet, that's a power play of some kind.
No, there's something more going on here.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything about a poem in my notes.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling us that poem.
Yeah.
was-
I told you guys about the poem and basically how. Okay, out of character.
I think you read it.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I basically I was telling you guys what I had written, what Cedric had written in the cookbook.
Mm.
Basically, all that coded shit that was basically him doing the code in the cookbook, and it resulted in the poem. And it was something that, according to someone, if we were to speak that to Niv-Mizzet, he would understand what we meant and give us further and explain to us its importance. But I don't know what it means, and I don't know if it's good or bad that he knows what we're talking about, even though we don't know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I just have that you cracked the code in the cookbook. That's all I put.
Yeah, but it's not actually crack the code in the cookbook. It's actually Cedric putting the code in the cookbook. Like there was no code.
Well, if you have the poem and Niv-Mizzet is the only one who can explain it to us, then it's
Yeah. I'm
probably
just...
the only chance you have to speak with him.
Oh yeah, definitely. But should I try to do it in this setting or with him personally? I'm thinking if there's Demir here and shit. Yeah, right? It's just, I don't know. There might be, like, someone else might understand what all of that means. And that might not be good.
Well,
Or it's something that goes, oh shit, you're one of those guys, kill on sight. I don't know.
Back.
I don't know anything.
Sorry, what discussion did I miss there? Did you decide how you feel about your guildmaster being here? Or did it
I
completely
was actually
tangent?
going to explain to him more about Vanifer. So
Go for it.
Vanifer was basically an outsider for the guild. She was a big advocate of the adaptationist movement, which was the forcibly evolving members of the guild to be stronger. Basically, the concept of the Simic hybrid comes from the adaptationist movement.
okay.
So, after she was put in charge, she started mutating the more intelligent members into super soldiers.
Yep. So I'm one of her specimens then.
If not one of hers necessarily, but it was her policies that led to you being in existence.
Yep. I am a Simic hybrid, so.
Yeah,
Exactly.
grab you by the collar and just go, I made you.
Previous to her being in power, the Simic had different goals.
Alright.
I don't think you would argue with me that that's a accurate statement, Chris.
Nope, that's
Yeah.
First they were medical, then
hybrid-
they were evolutionist, then they were adaptationist.
Yeah. So prior to her coming into power, they were very much more into, as Chris said, evolution. So moving things into a different form, not necessarily changing existing things. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But what kind of person is she? Is she like seen as a reliable and honest type of person, or?
She was only ever actually really mentioned in one story, and they really didn't delve much into her. Actually,
No.
they delve into her background, but
as with many kind of scientist types, she is, for the most part, fairly detached. She likes to take a kind of logical rather than emotional view to things. A lot of people would probably say that she's quite numb to the suffering that her research can cause.
I will point this out. The whole super soldier thing happened before anybody even knew that Bolas was around. So it looked like she was
Yes.
preparing for some kind of war even before Bolas happened.
Yes. So she was preparing for a war when no one knew there was a war coming.
Okay.
Which put a lot of people on a back foot when dealing with her, because they're like, we're all at peace. Why are you making an army?
Especially when the Boros are the only ones that are really allowed to have an army.
Yeah, Boros definitely did not like her.
Oh, most definitely.
But armies are our job. Why are you making one? And we stress literally making one.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just generally not liking them as well, though.
Yeah.
To be fair, generally the Boros don't like anyone but the Azorius.
And they don't really like Azorius.
That's not entirely true. They don't have that much of an issue with
Selesnya.
this Lesnia, yeah.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, though, very few people have that many vocal issues with the Selesnya. Because for the most part, the Selesnya are kind of like, let's all just get along and be nice, and here's some healing.
Yeah.
They're the dudes.
It's very much hard to have a.
The only problem we have with them is their inaction.
Yeah.
The only, but to also point out, the only two guilds that have flat out animosity towards each other are the Azorius and the Golgari, and that's because the Azorius straight up tried to make the Golgari guild illegal. Like, to the point where it was actually a crime to be a member of the Golgari, which led to a bunch of raids in the Undercity, which led to overpopulation in jails, which led to a riot, which is one of the riots is what led to Vraska's spark igniting. So by them trying to make the Golgari illegal, they literally created their own worst enemy.
Yeah. Vraska's not at the meeting.
Yeah. Well, if Garrett's here, obviously Vraska's not here.
Yeah, they don't really get along.
I wonder
That
why.
might be the understatement of the year.
All right. Well, I guess I'm sort of just being very respectful towards everyone in there and not trying to make any sort of focus on myself.
Probably a safe call. Yeah.
I'm not like that at all. just by heart. I will have no different tones or on myself the entire way through. So if I'm being sarcastic, then yeah.
Cedric looks like he's a teenage girl that's about to meet One Direction.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what you're saying is Cedric needs another slap in the head. Okay. Whack!
Can't quell my excitement over him. It's on overload.
like I said, about half an hour passes. You all wait, and then the door opens, and Greta, who had gone in to basically inform them that you were here, steps out, looks around, looks at all of you, and says, "You will enter now." And she gestures to the door. It does not take much insight to notice the fact that she did not invite you to enter. She stated that you would enter.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make a point of going first, actually.
Very
Okay.
close second.
Okay.
Like uncomfortable close.
Like he's actually trying to push past Bellin.
Yeah, it's like
He's a bit taller, so like jumping. It's like, what's happening? He's there.
Jovin's just gonna hobble in on third.
Yeah, I'll be next to Dovin.
Okay. And you are let in. And as soon as you enter this room, it does not take much effort to realize that although ostensibly this is a council meeting, and they do hold council meetings here often, as I said, if Niv Mizzet is going to be in attendance, it comes here because he doesn't go to anyone else. You can see that even though it's set up to be a council chamber, it is very much set up in Niv Mizzet's favor. He dominates the room. I mean, he's a dragon. That's going to happen. But the way the room is laid out, as you enter, there is a small standing area, basically like a gallery or a almost like a witness well in a court, a place for people who are not of the council to address the council. Beyond that, there is the council table with the 10 guild symbols on each of their 10 prospective locations. You do see in those seats the 7 members of the various guilds, and at the location furthest from the door, where the Izzet symbol is, behind the table, on what can only be described as a grand throne, sits the dragon Niv Mizzet, just towering over the table. Now, I mean, you have some very imposing people sitting at this council table, but no matter who you are, when you enter this room, your eyes are drawn to only one place. And the room is designed to emphasize that. The room is designed to make you feel small in the presence of the great dragon. And as you enter this room, Zedric, even as you enter the room, as excited as you are, even you find yourself growing a bit more still. Because although, yes, you really want to meet Niv Mizzet, you're now looking at Niv Mizzet. And it's... yeah.
It's beautiful.
And just picture Cedric breaking down in tears next to us. And just...
It's so glorious.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I can die happy now.
And I
I mean,
might...
if we say the wrong thing in here,
you might.
Yeah.
You very well might.
I mean, I'm gonna just stand in my position. I'm gonna have a very blank remark on my face, to be honest.
Mhm.
So
And
I'm
you
gonna
are led up
stealth
to this.
and tell the rest of the group, good luck. Over. No.
Fade into the background.
Yeah.
Dovin turns around. Look, if we got to do this shit, so do you. Get in here. You ain't sneaking away this time.
Every time, like, oh shit, this seems serious. Spy.
I just instigated this whole thing,
And then you go fuck off, and we're like,
It's like the boiler works all over again.
Yeah.
fucking seriously.
And the swamp. And the guild pack. There's been like at least 3 times.
Just to be clear, I was joking.
I know.
Sure you were.
Before it's canon.
You just wanted to hear Casey say a roll for it, I guess. I'm sure.
I just was hoping for one of my natural 20s. I've been rolling really well for my stealth checks.
It better be a natural 20 or you'll fucking a different
Yeah.
kind of scenario.
Well,
Yeah,
Dovin's going to do the polite thing. He's going to place his staff next to him, so this way he doesn't fall while doing this, and he's going to bow before the representatives of the guilds.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's going to humble himself to the representative of the guild, especially since his guild leader is right there and could end his shit with a blink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is not my guild leader. It's my commander.
Bearing in mind that, Jared, as we've discussed previously, is the guy who just decided that he did not
He didn't want to
die.
be dead anymore.
Like that seems like a drag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do basically the same thing. A little bit more discreet and just give them a
Yeah.
respectful nod without drawing much attention to myself.
Gonna do a very awkward bow that lasts for way too long. So it gets a little bit awkward, and then realizing, standing up very strict, and then just freezing because now he's embarrassed himself and everything's over. His life is over. He might as well die right now.
It's like when you go for a handshake and they go for a hug.
Yeah, and like, oh no, oh shit, and then,
You go for a fist bump and then... Fuck.
I gotta stand here.
Cedric, roll me an insight check.
Miss it thinks you're trash. Like,
No.
7.
He doesn't even know you're in his guild.
You
fuck is this guy?
You do all of this bowing for too long and then standing up and then being nervous. And as you kind of look up, you're not even sure if he's noticed that you're there.
That's even worse. Oh no.
You're beneath him, literally and figuratively.
That
Yep.
doesn't help though, but
By the end
and
of the night,
as
you might very well be inside him. But not in the way you want to.
I don't think that line went where you wanted it to. I think you said the line and then you realized, wait.
That's the impression I'm getting too.
This type of line, you can choose whether that was my intention or not.
We've killed Casey. Congratulations, we've killed Casey.
if only we had a following that would do fan art of that moment.
no.
I got
Okay.
I'm gone. I'm done. Done.
We used to have a group artist that would have
Mm.
immortalized that moment.
Yeah.
Then she had to go and get a damn job. She used to get up at 4:00 in the morning in Australia to play D&D.
And then work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So yeah, you all bow and do your things as you come in, and eventually, Lavinia stands up from her place at the table and walks over to where you're all standing, and begins to basically introduce why you are here to the other assembled members. She recounts everything that Malagar told her. So all of the rest of you get to hear basically that he did not leave anything out.
Oh, fantastic.
From the being recruited to the boiler works to the arrest to the university to the house to Rakdos, which Judith actually gives a quite happy giggle as that is recounted.
I bet it does.
And she actually does kind of make a comment to all of you, and she says, "Yes, it is very nice to see you again. Jury would say hello if I gave him enough of a moment's break to do so."
Fuck, we forgot to check Jury. Oh no, that's a wrong word. We need to violate any of his boss.
I'm just
But
gonna
yes,
stare at her blank face.
the
Oh no, yeah, that's all awkward for you right now.
she does blow you a kiss, Velen.
Roll for initiative.
Do you want to attack Judith in this room right now?
Kind of, yeah, because I had some backup, I think. But in fairness, no.
No, you attacked Judith, you would be on your own, sir.
Yeah, I'd just be standing behind her and just, this again.
Nobody else. He's
To
on
be
his own
To be honest,
with us.
if he attacked Judith in this room, there is nowhere in the stand that you're all in that would be out of range of the breath weapon. Just saying.
Well, the picture of my feet is a guy holding the shield in front of a breath. I completely would have saved that.
I will actually say one thing that anyone who is familiar with dragons is painfully aware of coming down this walkway into this room is that the walkway from the door up to where the table is about the width of a dragon's breath.
I'm sure that's just a weird coincidence.
Purely just an architectural thing.
I just
Definitely no planning whatsoever in the fact that there is no way to avoid that.
While Lavinia is sort of recounting the whole thing, I just want to do an insight check in general here to see if there is any of the ones assembled that seem to be sort of a bit nervous, except from the ones I brought with me.
Yes.
And yeah.
Wellness and nervous in this one.
Yeah, 24.
To be fair, Dovin's not actually nervous. Golgari tend to accept death, so if this is where he dies, it's not like there's any option in the matter at this point.
Wellness is too dumb to be nervous, so...
By the way, I made a horrible mistake. I'm like, I wonder what Nif's stats actually are. The fuck is that DC on his breath weapon?
What?
It's a DC fucking 25!
Yeah?
The fuck? That's
I can make that.
And you would be making it at disadvantage in this room because of the architecture of the room.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know.
I'm just going to go back for mood mark paint now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no big deal. It's just a DC 25 with disadvantage. But yeah, she recounts the entire tale. Your insight check, Malgar. You don't get nervousness from any of these people.
Yeah.
You get nothing at all from Lavinia. Nothing at all. From Judith, you get a giggle and a grin. I mean, that pretty much explains it all.
Amusement.
And there are no
Yeah,
guards assembled either inside the room, right?
No. Once you've actually come into this room, there are no guards in here. The guards were left at the door behind you.
Yeah.
On the outside.
I don't think this is a group of people who really need internal guards.
Yeah, I'm
No.
just yeah. It's I'm just trying to pick up on because if one of them might have been a doppelganger, then that guy might have been a bit nervous at this point.
From
Maybe the
Imara
visit are just
Tandris,
bunch of doppelgangers put together, like on each other's shoulders. Big most cute.
from Imara Tandris, you get a kind of almost a detached concern. You know, like you sense a worriedness that these things are happening, but you definitely wouldn't call it a nervousness. From Kea, you definitely see interest in what's going on, as in wanting to know more about this that's happening. From Niv-Mizzet, you can't even really tell that much that he's paying attention. I mean, he seems very disinterested in this entire conversation. Likewise, actually, Jared seems very eager to get on with things and not quite sure why all of you have been brought into this meeting. Feather, if you were going to detect nervousness from anyone at all in this meeting, the most nervous, and it's still not very nervous, but the most nervousness in the room you would probably get from Feather.
Oh, yeah.
But you would probably, with the role that you've made there, you would probably write that down to the fact that this is not something that he would normally be sent to do. This is not his normal assignment, as it were, to be put into this situation.
She.
And Venifar seems to... Sorry,
Hey.
she. Did I say he?
Yeah.
Oh.
All
She might
angels and magic.
identify as a dude.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's weird because all angels and magic are female. There hasn't been
Yeah.
a single male angel.
I didn't realize I'd said it. Yeah, it is she, yeah. And from Venifar, you get a very analytical, kind of detached assessment of the situation without passing any judgment whatsoever. So that's your insight into all of them. And as she finishes this description, this retelling, Jared actually looks up and says, "This is all very interesting, but why are they here now? What does this have to do with the current events?" And Vanifar, looking to have been assessing all of this, as I said, kind of sits back and she says, "It would appear that the events that this group described with their encounter with these doppelgangers and this ritual with this Ifrit, the timing of it seems highly circumspect, as it seems to align almost perfectly with the appearance in the sky." Which does kind of put everyone into thought for a moment.
Cedric, maybe you might want to reiterate that poem you've...
I I don't know if it's
Not
related.
yet. I don't
If
think.
I don't
think-
remember exactly what it was, but I think there was some phrases in there that seems relevant, if I remember correctly.
Hang on, let me actually check that out of character because I am.
So out of character, I think everybody will know this. Speak when spoken to in this room.
Yeah, I'm not speaking to the entirety of the
I'm
council.
just wondering if Madman remembers.
because
what
there was
I'm sure.
Yeah,
there was something about wings in there. I
yeah.
remember.
There are. So.
Did I ever hear this poem?
I mean, he would mention it. I don't know if it
The
was
re-
basically right
I
after
think it was one of the days where you were gone.
No, the reason
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
asking is because my character has perfect recall. So if it
Yeah.
was within the last month, he would actually have it in perfect recall.
I mean,
I
he
don't.
did.
I don't remember if he actually told you the poem,
I told you
but what
about
he
the poem.
did tell you was that the Ifrit gave him something to say to Niv Mizzet that was supposed to prove what the Ifrit was saying was true.
I think you told us the poem because I distinctly remember
I told you
there's
that.
something about
Yeah.
being wings in it. And,
Yeah, no, I told you out of character though.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry if I'm mixing up.
that's
here.
fine. That's fine. I mean, I think it was more of a brainstorming. Like, I don't know what that means. I hope you guys do. And then I didn't get any reactions. Like, okay, cool. I'm not alone with with not understanding. I mean, Malcolm, do you think I should say it right now? He's right there. I might just.
Wow.
Can you do it with a microphone or something like that? He can't hear me from up there. Should I shout? I should shout. I don't want to shout. Maybe he has very good hearing and.
While everyone is sitting there pondering, I'm just going to, even if they are these superpowered beings that I have, yeah, I'm just gonna. My name is Malgar. I seem to remember my friend here, Cedric, mentioning something in some notes that he has deciphered. Notes that belong to, was it the foreman?
Put me on
And
the spot here, Malgar. Holy
yes,
shit.
but I think it is very relevant because it seemed I do somewhat remember it being wings mentioned and some darkness or something like that. So I
At which
give,
point, most of the room turns to look at Zedric.
yeah, and I give him a slight like push from the back, just and then I take a step back after that.
He
So-
kind of takes out like a cookbook and goes, "All right, lords and ladies of the table and bossman have missed it himself. I'll give to you
Tobin just mutters under his breath, "There's no way this can go
the
bad."
the things that." Oh boy. Okay. So it's warm in here. Wings of the world, heed your call. Put of one, the wings that enshroud the shadows. All knees must bend, though all knees must not break. In such trust, without trusting, follow without following, and know without learning. Through this, you will find your answer. Thank you, everyone.
I give a very
As you
very silent, slow clap.
as you say this, you get about halfway through, and you start to hear this intake of breath from Niv Mizzet.
That's not good.
I take the dodge action.
And then as you finish, as you speak the last of the words, you just hear a whisper from Niv Mizzet, which seems to vibrate the room. He has this deep, resonant voice that even in a whisper, just you feel his voice more than you hear it. And he speaks a single word. Saradib.
What?
At which point, the entire room kind of looks up at him in confusion.
I look at him as I know exactly what he's talking about. Not really. Oh shit! Oh fuck!
You just searched on Google for it, haven't you?
No, I did not. I did not. I just read what the following text to that poem was. In your Lord's reaction, you will find the truth.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to Google it because that's out of character thing. I don't know. Do I know in character?
You've never heard that name before.
Yeah. In that case, he just goes. Ah.
And a few moments pass in silence.
No!
Chris has just Googled it.
No!
You just Googled it, haven't you, Chris?
God damn it!
I haven't, and I'm gonna stay away
I
from
thought
it.
it sounded familiar, so yes, I Googled it.
What?
Oh.
Okay.
How bad can it be?
I don't know.
It wasn't Almond Cat. It
What?
was Rabia.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh.
Okay.
Rabia is the plane from the Arabian Nights set. It's based
Oh my god, we're talking about the Efreet from. Oh shit, I know which Efreet we're on about.
Right.
The reaction of that moment of dawning. Just,
I don't.
now, sense the desert, the Scheherazade, the Ifrit.
Did you not think I would go back that far, Chris?
I thought the whole thing with the Scheherazade incident was just a clever little thing because you had just watched the live action Aladdin.
All right.
The box leads to Arabia. It doesn't lead to Amonkhet like I thought.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
It's a plane made of 1,000 microplanes.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Based on the 1001 Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
Hence Shahrazad, hence the lamb.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Hence...
Yeah, looking around, just does anything happen when he says that?
No one in the room seems to know what he's talking about.
Right.
And a few moments pass in complete silence. And then you hear him speak again. And he says, "The Ifrit of which you speak, the Ifrit which you have set free, is Saradib."
Right. Of course.
If what you say is true, then you have unleashed upon the 1001 shards of Arabia one of its most dire threats.
Oh.
Why was it here, though?
Oh.
And What do you mean, Shard of Arabia? What does that even mean?
Yeah, none of you have a clue what that means.
Which is why I figured I would ask.
Yeah. There are many places, many realms far beyond the understanding of most of you. Saratib was from one of these other places. He was here. He was here to seek vengeance on me. Though it seems that he never found a stooge who he was able to turn to his advantage against me. Until now, it would seem.
He's gonna take a step away from Velen. Just as a precautionary in case it
Go
smites.
silent.
I'm sorry, Great Firemind, but I don't understand.
And everything's cut out.
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, you all. I thought for a moment you were just hanging on the moment of what he was saying, and then after I stopped talking, it was all still nothing was moving. I can hear you all again now, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm typing a note.
So yes, he says that and then goes silent.
I don't understand though. How did he get here? How does this link back to what we were even originally falsely hired to do?
Who brought you the lamp?
We found the lamp in an Azorius evidence locker. Dovin just punches, like literally you see Dovin like punch himself in the head. Which is what Grimbob mentioned he was trying to break into.
Yeah, that's right.
These moments of realization.
I mean, I don't know if it helps, but he kinda owes us a favor, or at least some information, if we manage to get him, like, in contact with him. I don't know if he's good on his word, but if he is, he's supposed to give us some vital information about, like, apparently there was this crucial part that was missing from.
Dovin's muttering to himself this whole time because he's going, then what was the point of the other team? What was the point of giving us an option? If the whole thing was going to lead back to that box somehow getting back to an evidence locker, the whole point of finding someone else who could find the box and bring it someplace else, which is what substantially happened had the thing not blown up.
The appearance of free will is a powerful foe.
No, this isn't even a case of free will fucking us. This is a case of this is so ludicrously convoluted.
No, it's not. It's very straightforward.
No, it's not, because
Take a man scarred by a past, literally, put him in a path where he believes that he can do right. Just lead him into a trap.
The problem with that is
and give the appearance of free will.
The problem with that is this. We were given the option. All of this happened.
No, we were never given an option.
Sure we were. We could have taken the mission to go for the Demir.
No.
Yes.
This is not the time for philosophical debate.
It really isn't, because we have a bigger problem at hand.
And you have all of these powerful people just staring at you as you're arguing with each other.
Like,
Yeah.
and like Dovin is literally asking this because he doesn't understand.
Mm.
There's no way any of this should link up. Because the initial thing was we were given the mission either. So what was the point? Like, he's even saying, like, do you guys know of this other team then? Do you know what they might have done? Because all of this depended on such ludicrous things having to happen
We
that
never
there's a connection here we're not seeing.
While they're talking to each other, I'm going to take a step forward and address the rest of the council. And
No, that's the thing. Dovin is addressing the rest of the council. At this point, he's just flat out ignoring
alright.
Velen.
He's like
Yeah.
just asking all of these different questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as you can
Mad-
clearly see here, we are not aware of the full reach of what we have been lured into unwittingly. I can only speak for myself, but I am willing to do whatever it takes to rectify the situation.
Madman, before we answer that moment, when you deciphered the notes,
Yes.
did you share those findings with the rest of the group?
Yes. Because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
mentioned something about the implicit maze. He
Sorry,
said that,
True.
and Dovin's even going to say that, like, the
Sorry,
stuff that
which
we
notes? Hang on. The fake deciphered notes that Cedric just made up to have an excuse that he found it in a book and not
No.
from the internet.
No.
Or
No, the notes from tonight that you deciphered with the blood.
I mean, yeah, he would be talking about it while he was deciphering it, but it's up to Dovan and Velen whether or not they were listening, I guess.
Right. Chris, Kim, Madman, you three then roll me an intelligence check.
Can I? And can I plead a feat?
Plead the fifth.
Um,
Feat.
I'll let you have advantage because of that feat. I'm not just going to give it to you, though.
Oh. Fine.
really.
Ooh.
I hate-
Dovan is not listening to whatever the fuck Cedric was talking about.
Wow, I got 11.
So Dovin's going to ask, and why was there the stuff about? And he even goes over like the journal stuff that he has, the journal entries about the whole them trying to figure out how to run the maze and everything. Like, none of this adds up.
Do I get something from
Madman.
17? Yeah.
Yes, with that, all of these questions that Dovin's asking about, how it's so convoluted, that they gave us these choices that don't seem to add up. How would they, it seems overly intricate.
Mm-hmm.
And as this is going through, as you're hearing all of this, it keeps popping into Zedric's head. Item 1, ability 1.
I mean,
Oh.
do I know? Like,
Can I clarify for that for him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Know the short-term future and be able to change the short-term future.
That means what do you mean? If you were to run the maze, it's easier to run.
No. The schematics that you found.
Yeah.
Item 1 of the schematics were the ability to see the short-term future.
Yeah.
Ability 1 of those schematics were the ability to change the short-term future.
Yeah.
To manipulate what you were doing.
Yeah.
To know the choices
We
you were
got
going to
fucked.
make.
Oh shit. Okay, they were using it. Oh no. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit. Okay, I see.
It all starts to fall into your head. It's like how could they have known? How could they have figured out what we were going to? How would they have known what we were going to? Oh.
Oh, in that case, while Dovan is like saying all of this, he gets kind of a little card from the right, where he's said it's like, timey-wimey machine that sees future. They had that, and just kind of puts it in your hand, like while you're doing this.
So Dovin looks at it and goes, so then we can't stop them. That's literally all it says, is that we can't stop them.
Oh, no, we just need to...
If they can see what we're going to choose and change that decision, there is literally no way to stop them.
I don't know what to choose.
And as you say that, and all of these people are in this room, so as I said, you actually hear Niv Mizzet answer, and he says, "That is, of course, assuming they are the only ones who can see."
Oh, my boss is the coolest.
Well, that's great, because your peon here has schematics that he's been hiding from everybody, so...
Not hiding, it's just in my backpack and safekeeping. That I want to build. I want to build it.
Oh.
Can I please build it?
We ourselves don't often know what we're going to do anyway, so it might not be much of an advantage for them, really.
Hey, Velen, I'm gonna put like an ice cream machine on the side of it. It's gonna be awesome.
You see Niv Mizzet close his eyes for a moment in this kind of almost it almost looks like a meditation. But then you see a response from all of the others at the table.
And even Dovin goes, he's using the fire mind.
What are they saying though?
No, you see them physically like it almost is like they just heard something and they start to nod.
Mm.
Or in one case, my brain stopped working. Jared actually shakes his head, but and Judith kind of just sighs, but the others each actually nod. And it actually doesn't take much to figure out. He sent some kind of a silent message to them.
Dovin
He
turns
has
to Jared and
said
goes,
something to them.
Lord Von Savo? What's going on?
He actually stands up and turns and looks at you. And he says, "The Firemind seems to think that we should entrust your group with a further mission involved in this. I would be much more in favor of getting operatives who have not been working for what appears to be our enemy."
With all due respect, Lord Von Savo, we're already stuck in the middle of this. We either need a chance to redeem ourselves, which, if you look into my history, if you look into my family's history, we have always been loyal to the Devkaren and to the Sworn. At least trust me enough to try and fix this. Even if you don't trust them, you will know that my family has always been loyal to the Sworn. All aspects of it, no matter what. Because we feel that everything in this world is part of it, and if we've damaged it, we need to make it right.
I'm gonna look at him with like, are you for real right now?
Just totally ignoring him.
He turns back and he turns away from you at that point, and he looks back at the rest of the group and he says, "I'm willing to change my vote in this matter on a condition." And Imara is kind of like, "Well, what's your condition? We need to do something, and they're here. They can, as they say, redeem themselves." And he kind of turns, Jerry kind of turns to where he's kind of got them in one side of his periphery and you in the other side, and he says, "My condition is this: you wish to use this group for your mission against this plot. I wish a pledge of devotion, as it were. If their mission should succeed, they redeem themselves, and they can go on to be the heroes of the matter, or whatever it is you wish to call them. If they do not, then I would have 100 years service from each of them as a penance for their failures and their previous crimes.
I have a question.
He just stares at you.
I mean, I want to point out that for me, that's not a problem. The rest of you are fucked for me. Hey.
And I would like to point out that there are different levels of, shall we say,
Success?
crimes.
Oh. We have different thought pods. You go yours, I'll have mine.
Well, all I'm saying is that some of us have been more unwittingly aiding our enemies than others, even though we have all been trying to do our best together.
You serve as a group. I have no interest in separating out who did what or why. You serve as one, you succeed as one, or you fail as one.
Who sets the success parameters? Because I'm thinking a relative win is often subjective. Like my win might not be your win.
Feather actually stands up at this point, which is surprising, being in the company she's in. She says, "Oh, come on. A win in this matter has got to be obvious. There is a plot to infiltrate the Guild Pact and black wings in the sky. The enemy is clear in this matter, and defeating the enemy is obviously the goal."
Just if in case Velen here doesn't know, I mean, you could tell him.
You're gonna see that I have a grin for the first time on my mouth since anybody's spoken up.
And
Well said, Feather.
Good job. Nice job, boy. Nice job. Villain walks over, pats him on the head. Realizes he's a woman, just goes, I no longer know what to do, and slowly walks away.
And that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, Feather is still your commander.
I know.
Whatever you think of their place in this meeting, I don't think you have any doubts on their abilities as a commander.
No.
So
No, it's not like that. It's more of a. I don't see Feather as being the strong point in this discussion. So it even took me by surprise that her strength came out. That's kind of what I'm after.
Quick question for my own sanity check.
Hmm?
Are her wings bound in chains or no?
Not according to the timeline where we are. Shouldn't be.
No, they wouldn't be.
Yeah, they would. Feather's wings weren't unbound until Nicol Bolas showed up.
Weren't they taken off before?
No. She was stuck in the ship.
Is that still?
Yeah.
I thought that went away.
Nope.
Oh no, actually it was, yeah.
Feather's wings weren't unchained until the War of the Spark. And nobody even knows how they became unchained. She just showed up with them unchained.
That's right. She was freed previous to that and restored to a position, but her wings actually were still chained. You're right, yeah.
She became
so her wings are chained. Yeah.
I was just curious.
So her wings are still chained, yeah. Because Feather was actually the guild master before Aurelia.
Yeah. And then Aurelia overthrew her and stuck her in the ship, whatever it's called. I can never remember the name of the ship.
Parhelion.
Parhelion, yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually impressed you remember that.
I love the Parhelion cord.
So, you guys, do you think we should, I mean, obviously that's We don't like. Of course we are, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yes, I am willing to do whatever it takes, but as of right now, because this is so convoluted and there are so many moving pieces, I am actually having a hard time telling who exactly is our enemy. Do we even know?
Cedric is very quiet.
Is it Molotov Cricktroll still, or is it the
No.
Efreet? Is it?
It's the Efreet. It's
Right.
the Efreet and whoever. It's the Efreet and Maltov. Maltov was using his device to make sure we could try and free the Efreet. And then. But then why were they trying to bind the Efreet again?
Well, they obviously wanted to use
Because-
him for their own
Yeah.
purposes.
Yeah.
So the Efreet wasn't necessarily the bad guy, just a bad guy, but not the bad guy, right?
Give all of you roll me an insight check.
Mhm.
I'm still wondering about
There we go.
this. Like, my God, I'm very happy you brought that up because I have also no idea. I was hoping that they would tell
Joven.
us.
As you're kind of asking these questions and talking this through, you start to think back at the battle. And you start to realize that the expressions that the Ifrit had during the battle, in retrospect, if you had to put a word to them, the word you would think of was betrayal.
I say this to the council. I go, I think the group that had set this all up betrayed. I had the name and I fucking forgot it.
Saradib.
Betrayed Sarah Deeb. So I think there's two forces at play here.
At which point, Kea kind of stands up and she's like, "That's good then, right? If they're fractured, if they're fighting amongst themselves, then that must be a benefit, right?"
Not
mean,
necessarily,
if
Lady Kea.
this Ifrit was trying to use this cult to summon something, which is
I don't.
then if they're fractured, that should weaken that, shouldn't it?
Not necessarily, Lady Kea. If they were going to use his power for what they're trying to do, and now they can't get to that power, they may try something else.
Right, told them about the echo thing that we were talking about, the way.
And I explained to them the whole thing about I think they might try to use the maze.
This might be some technobabble, but they have some beam splitters, ballistic holes, cerebral vortex generators, flux charger core, mission mortar, fire mine scales, steam vent sealing valve, and mission storage chamber. I don't believe I need to tell you what you can do with all of these.
And I'm going to give them the note. I tell them I think that they're going to use the maze. An ally of mine had also been played by Narcissus Ben in a mission to retrieve a criminal by the name of Krenko. This ally of mine is no longer with us. He died in the battle with the doppelgangers. He sacrificed himself to keep them from gaining control of the Efreet. But he had left me something he had found on that mission. May I present it to you, Lady Lavania, since you are probably the best person that could probably figure out what it means here. No offense to the others.
She stands up and walks over to you and holds out her hand.
I give her
You
the
do
note
notice when you mention Krenko that Feather flinches a bit.
I'd give her the note that Nikolai left. From what we understand, from what our allies had found out afterwards, Krenko had never arrived at the prison he was supposed to, and he was working with someone who goes by the alias of Mr. Taz. There's more of a code in this note but I cannot figure it out, and I've tried everything at this point to figure it out. All I've been able to find is that it says, after the escape, Mr. Taz will be waiting, but past that, I can't figure out the rest of this note.
Give me just a second.
Did either... Actually, what's the name of the Simic leader?
Vanifar?
Did Venifor on the Misset react when Cedric listed the apparatuses that they were using?
You didn't get much of a reaction from either of them.
Okay.
But you do know that those are, from the notes, basically code words that they were using for other machines, which were used to build the two devices that you know of now.
Oh, okay. In that case, I wouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry,
never
I might not have made that clear when I was explaining earlier, but
Yeah,
they
because
were
we were talking
basically
about
using
some fireman bomb. That was our original theory. That list. Okay. Never mind then.
Okay. You see, Lavinia struggle with this note, looking it over, trying to decipher things, and finally sighing and looking at it and saying, I can't make out the cipher. And then she kind of clears her throat and she says, will you finally come out of the shadows and join us?
I come out of the shadows and join them.
Well played.
Well played, but no.
Oh, it would be so awesome if it turns out Volker is just
Gonna be him, isn't it?
How did you guess?
Yeah.
Who is the only other person who could be in this room?
Yep.
Huh?
Well, anybody from the Demir could be in this room.
True.
But I figured it was Vilazov.
Yeah. I'm just trying to grab an image of him now. Although, I mean, really any image could be an image of him, but...
Is it the doppelganger?
You watch as literally out of the darkness, where there was nothing there a moment ago, a man seems to just literally step out of the darkness, looking like that.
It is Demir. Even I know that picture.
And he kind of sighs as he walks forward and holds out his hand for the note. And as he does, you actually kind of notice Jared chuckle, and he says, really, Lavinia, with all of this talk of doppelgangers and shapeshifters, you turn to him. And he speaks. And what's eerie about it is when he speaks, you don't know if he's doing it just as a mockery or what, but he speaks in Jared's voice. And he says...
Wilson goes, that's disconcerting.
And he speaks and he says, oh, please. Were these shapeshifters loyal to me, they would have never been so sloppy. They would have never revealed themselves in such a way. These are an affront to me. in many ways more than they are to any of the rest of you. And he just walks over and takes the note from Lavinia. And he starts looking at it. And after only a few moments of looking at this note, he sighs and he says, "There is no code here in the way you believe there to be." And he takes the note and he holds it between his hands. And he brings it to his face and he blows on the paper. And then slides it between his fingers. And as he does, you actually watch as the paper, which you have examined dozens of times in many, many different ways, splits, and you actually see him peel 2 pages apart. And underneath the letter, there is a second letter.
What does it say?
I will have to get you the full text because unfortunately I did not have it prepared.
That's fine.
I had gotten 2/3 of the way through writing it, and then before I finished my final draft, you all seemed to forget about it. So I never actually finished the final draft.
Never forgot about that letter.
I said seemed to.
I just never found a place where it'd be useful until recently.
Yeah. But I will basically summarize the fact that the letter is written from Mr. Taz, and it actually details a conspiracy which he seems to know about, and which he is attempting to gather pieces, as he puts them, and place them on the game board in such a way to disrupt this.
So even though I know who Mr. Taz is, Dovin does not. So he's going to say, well, then we need to figure out who Mr. Taz is. Maybe he can help us figure this out too.
Do you know who Mr. Taz is?
It's Lazav. But Dovin doesn't, so I'm not going to assume. But yeah, I know it's Lazav.
Okay. But yeah, you say we need to find Mr. Taz. And Lazav kind of nods and hands the note back to you and says, "Yes, I believe that would likely be a good step in the right direction."
Huh. Okay.
I suggest that you find his missing piece.
You mean Krinko?
And he just nods.
Are we supposed to make some vow now, or what's the deal? Sorry, I never made a vow.
You actually notice that after handing the note over to Lazav, brain fart, Lavinia had walked back over to the table and sat down, and you actually see her writing.
Oh, it's a written thing.
And she looks up again and she says, "Can I assume now then that we are all agreed with the additional stipulation by Jared?" At which point You see the smile again as Judith says, I don't believe that I voted in favor of this either. At which point you notice a number of sighs around the table.
What does it sound like when a giant dragon sighs?
It sounds like a sigh, just very, very loud.
Yes.
Booming.
A sigh that it comes with an accompanying breeze in the room.
And the slight smell of brimstone.
Yeah. And Kea kind of turns and says, very well then, Judith, what is your stipulation in this? What will it take for you to agree as well? Jared seems to only want their bodies. What do you want out of this? And Judith kind of sits back and smiles. She says, all that I want for the glory of Rakdos.
Oh.
If they should fail, I only want that one. And she points to Velen.
These guys have never heard about the carrot and stick method, but just the stick method.
The problem is the stick has pieces of glass driven into it.
And she
You're
kind
muted.
of smiles and says, the Orzhov, I am sure, will be able to assist in binding a soul contract. And with that stipulation in place, then you will have my agreement.
Kim, you're muted.
I'm completely stone faced. I'm not gonna reveal anything. Although inside you can hear me going, I fucking hate this bitch.
I'm going to actually take a step forward and address the council. I believe that since our apprehension, or what's the word? That's not the one I'm looking for. Well, let me just rephrase that. Since our captured foreman here was in possession of intelligence and information that could very well have led us to uncovering this plot earlier, had he not been sacrificed to Rakdos.
Bitch, tell him. Tell them.
I do not believe you are in the position to make actually such an argument. That is
Jovin's just gonna sit there and shake his head and take a step away from Malgar.
I'm just saying it. I'm actually stepping in, sort of like in defense of Velen a bit here.
He's going to grab. Dovin's gonna like grab Zederic and Velen and just pull them slightly away from Malgar.
And I'm saying also at the same time that. So it seems, Judith, that you have also been unwittingly aiding our enemy.
Ooh, snap!
If anything, what you say implicates your friend Jury, whose choice it was to sacrifice this foreman.
Oh, unsnap.
Well, then you have already received. Then you have already received your victim.
I feel friend is a strong word.
Yeah.
So after he finishes,
which is probably why she uses it, just to
This is fair.
stab another needle in.
So I mean, after she finishes the speech and everybody goes, and he pulls us away, I'm gonna go. Very well. So you've all gotten your agreement, but I never said that I agreed.
If you do not wish to agree to this mission for your freedom, then we can simply continue with arresting you for your current crimes.
You know as well as I do that the threat that has just been unleashed is fairly great, and we are just pawns in a bigger game, and we're easily dispensable, but you don't want this to spread further. I ask for only one thing. should we be successful, I want the crimes that was committed to me by the Rakdos to face proper judgment.
I was expecting you to ask for a new sword.
Lavinia pauses for a moment and thinks about that. And she stands up and she looks at you and she says, "You must realize that many of the things which you would, I'm sure, like to account as crimes against you, many of these things, by the law of Rixmari, are completely acceptable."
Oh, I'm aware. There is only one crime that was committed. And she knows which crime I'm on about. But I shall not say or do if we are successful in our mission. I just want the proper perpetrator given the proper justification for the crime that person committed. Because it was outside.
You are correct, it was.
I
I
know.
was wondering if you would remember that, yeah.
Yeah, it was, because it was one thing that they did that they fucked up on at the time. They should have thought about it, and they didn't.
Interesting. I mean, horrifying.
Lavinia kind of looks from you to Judith, and then she says, "Very well. I will give you my word that should you succeed, I will investigate and prosecute these crimes myself."
Thank you. And then I'm gonna stand back again.
At which point, she turns back, picks it up off the table, and she presents you with a contract.
If they're gonna fucking raise the stakes, I'm gonna raise the stakes, bitches.
Yeah. I like that.
And basically, the content of this contract says that all, basically, all of the crimes that you've currently admitted to, which you've not held anything back, so has been everything that's happened involving in this so far, will be, pardon me, all of the crimes which you've currently admitted to will be temporarily expunged from your records for the duration of this endeavor, pending final result, at which point, if you are successful, and it does lay out criteria for success as basically discovering the identity of this summoned force, ensuring that the Ifrit is no longer a threat to this plane, and bringing the cult leaders, specifically naming Moltov Kriktrul and Narcissus Ven, to justice or punishment as success conditions. If you are successful, then your records will be held as permanently expunged, and you will be accorded with all of the rights and benefits due to those who have accomplished such a heroic act. Should you fail, and it does lay out again criteria for failure, as basically you die without accomplishing success, or basically the end of the world, or if the Ifrit is able to return and make another attempt on Niv-Mizzet's life, then in the event of failure, your bodies would all be committed to the cause of the Golgari for 100 years, and Velen's soul would be transferred by the Orzhov into the care of Judith of the Rectus.
I would argue if there was an end of the world.
Yeah, Lynn's got
most
a
of that.
girlfriend.
Oh, no.
I am a horrible person.
I can't help that the most evil queen of evil wants me. I mean,
Dovin's gonna say, one more name needs to be added to that under the expunging part, though she is not officially part of our group.
thing is, I get it though. If I was the evil queen, I would want a holy paladin that's easily mentally broken to have fun with.
Anyway, an ally of mine had helped us in one of the missions and had put great risk to herself to help us in that mission. And while she is not a direct member of our group, in attempting to help us, she is also currently forced into hiding because of something that happened while she was helping us. Is there any way that her name could be added to the option of being expunged?
I'm gonna give I can't remember your character name.
Dovin.
Dovin. I'm gonna give you a sharp thud in the side. All of them.
Dovin looks and goes,
Are there more?
all of them did not help us steal the box.
Yeah, none of your other allies actually
Oh.
committed any crimes.
No,
Yeah.
but
That you know of.
the point being is that all of them are considered expunged if anything should be there.
No.
They're not expunging all crimes. They're only expunging specifically the crimes which you have revealed as part of this. So
Yeah.
it's not like a complete wipe of all criminal records.
Yeah.
And the
there was this
only
murder
one of your
back in
companions,
2014.
yeah, the only one of your companions that has committed a crime in the course of this,
Earlier.
Yeah.
It's Halloran.
is Halloran, yeah. And Lavinia actually thinks about it for a moment, and she says, as she is not a member of your group, she is not necessarily bound into this contract in the same way. However, as a gesture of goodwill and trust, should she turn herself in, her crime will be reduced to a period of service without any imprisonment or other. Basically, in Ravnican terms, she
Community
tells
service.
how real get like 6 months community service rather than prison. Yeah.
All right. Dovin nods and goes, I'll let her know this then.
Can we expect any sort of assistance in this endeavor? Because I do not know how to capture or kill an Efreet, a being that, in my view, seems to have extremely powerful, cosmic powers.
Can't we just start off with that thing that we heard them sing?
Oh,
Dovin looks and goes, I don't think the Ifrit can safely come back onto Ravnica right now.
No.
And he explains the whole thing with the box and how right now whatever magic they were trying to use to bind the Ifrit is currently binding that box. So if the Ifrit tries to come back, there's a very high possibility that that magic will immediately latch onto the Ifrit again.
So then we need to go to where the Efreet is.
Why?
And
Well, no, because
Niv Mizzet actually steps in for a moment there, and actually he does confirm to you that if the ritual is what he believes it to be, then the box will remain sealed by that power until such time as those who, until such time as those who began the ritual are dead. At which point the power will be released. So he basically confirms to you that currently the Ifrit is sealed on the other side of this box and won't be able to get back using the box until Cricktroll and Ven are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, if the Ifrit is unable to get to Ravnica, does that not mean that he is unable to harm Ravnica, at least directly?
Well, yeah, but Molotov
For
is
the
still...
moment, yes.
So we should do our best to capture the others who perform the ritual. So for as long as they are alive, he can never return back here,
That's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Dovin turns and looks to Niv-Mizzet and goes, well, what if they're left in a state where they're not truly alive, but not truly dead? Would the magic still bind them?
Which Jared chuckles at, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where I'm going with this.
And Niv-Mizzet actually confirms to you that should you ensure... He would basically phrase it more succinctly than I'm able to think right now because my brain's a bit jelly. But he basically says that as long as you didn't kill them at the same time and then try to raise them, as long as you basically had one of them either alive or undead at all times. So if you changed one into that state and then changed the other into that state, but if they were both in transition at the same time, then that moment of transition in between would break the magic.
So if we kill one, raise it as an undead, we can eventually kill the other and raise it as an undead. We can't kill them both at the same time, is what you're saying.
Correct.
No
Okay.
fireballs. Got it.
What if their bodies are dead but their brain? No, I mean if their brains are dead but their bodies live.
Like me in the morning.
Uh-huh.
That's
The thing is
basically undeath.
Yeah, the thing with create undead is it's instantaneous. Once they're undead. They can be locked in a vault and never to be seen or heard from again, and there's no problem there. It doesn't stop working. Once they're undead, they're undead.
There's a separate venue we need to go for as
So
well.
So we
Sure.
just have what we have to do is while we're fighting them, we only need to kill one at a time. If we kill one, I can immediately go over, create undead, and get it the hell away. Then we can worry about the other one.
I just need to AFK just a second, guys. I'll be right back.
Yep.
I don't think we need to, like out of character, I don't think we need to discuss like the details with the council. Like,
Well, no, I'm asking for clarification because if
Yeah.
this is a way that we can permanently contain that Ifrit off of Ravnica,
Mm.
that solves one of the conditions of success.
okay,
Because
okay.
the Ifrit can't get back.
So I would also make a mention because how the hell do you kill a gin?
Yeah, exactly. That way we don't need to kill it. We just need to.
Your camera's
no,
supposed
no,
to
no.
happen.
yeah.
No, I'm genuinely asking because if it comes to shove,
Yeah.
we would have to have a way to actually deal with it.
Some kind of lock thing so it can't TP away, or some soul capture thing.
What
There
happened
are
to the bottle it was in when he was transported?
That's
It's still in Velen's bag.
Right.
But we would need a ritual to put it back in the bottle.
yeah. I mean, but they
And
started kind of the
I
talking
do-
about it, so we can
I-
kind of use that to figure out what it
I
was.
do want to point something out that's very important. Jinn are not a common thing on Ravnica. So
Mm.
I doubt that there is a ritual that currently exists on Ravnica, the way Ravnica works, that would work for a Jinn to put it in a bottle because they're not a common thing.
No, but I'm thinking they obviously had a way of
Yeah.
capturing it. So we just need, and we have like most of the phrases, or at least the beginning of it. We just need
I
use
want to point out it took 10 people to do that.
dying and all that. Sure,
Yeah.
But
it took
we
10 sacrifices.
But I'm still saying we can still use that phrase as a search template, like a Control F, and find out at least what we should
I'm
be
not
searching for.
I'm not comfortable with the concept of sacrificing 10
No,
people to
I understand, but at the very least, if we know how it can be done, we can find ways to modify it, or if it even can be modified.
So basically, I think that the basics are whether we're comfortable or uncomfortable with anything. We need to know.
I don't think any of us
Who
are
are you
comfortable
trying to
with human
sacrifice?
No,
No,
We're
not trying
talking
to-
about trying to how to
Yeah.
bind the Jinn if it comes to
Yeah.
that. I still think
We
our
need-
best bet is
Or just
The,
plain outright kill it. That's my second question.
Yeah,
Is
so
there any way
there
to
is two things we are sort
I
of
mean,
looking
yeah, you hit
for.
anything
And
hard enough, it
it's
will die.
one way to trap it inside the bottle again, and the other way is to learn how to kill it.
And basically, I think our approach to the council is preferred method versus possible methods.
Yeah. Best case scenario, we can seal it off from Ravnica forever, and thereby.
So here is my question for this, and this is normally what I get to in situations like this. What is the Occam's razor of this situation? Because for me right now, the Occam's razor is if we find Cricktroll and Ven, me just turning them into undead and then being locked in a vault.
Yeah.
I am going to say, if you guys have any other questions for this group, speak now.
Yeah, there
Otherwise, we are going to get to a point where basically they're going to usher you out to go about your
Yeah.
business.
I did ask what sort of assistance can we expect in this endeavor.
Not being arrested. Greatest assistance of all.
That's a big one.
Right, I was thinking the special sections in the book section, for example, for research and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That would
well,
be great.
the thing is, if we fail, yes, there are extreme consequences for us, but there will still be extreme consequences for them. So they do have an interest in actually making us succeed in this,
Yes.
which is why I do think we should have some assistance. Because so far we have been walking around in the blind, not knowing what we're fighting and who or when or what, or even how we should fight them. So we need some.
You are actually each offered your choice of two. Actually, hold on. Let me just. It'll be easier if I write this down. Hold on.
I think one of the things we really need them to do is they need to make their own version of that device so that they can stop
That's
us
what
from
I'm.
getting.
That's
so
what
hurt
I'm.
with that.
When I have my credentials reinstated, I will use the Nemesis research team perk to basically start building that device. Because I'm sure Nemesis has one, because it sounded like him when he said that, like he had one. But it would be great if we also had one. So
I'm not sure if he has one. I think that he's just.
no, Nemesis. He said kind of when I was talking about it can see the future and shit. He said, well, yeah, they might not be the only ones who have one.
Yeah,
Hint,
no. Did you not hear what I said? Might not be the guild. It might be him.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. That's why I said Cedric would be very interested to start building his own variant of that thing, if possible. But I don't know how long that even would take.
Maybe the Simic can create like some sort of form of synthetic doppelganger blood for you to translate the rest of the pages.
Yeah, I mean, he still has some of the blood. Like, I made sure to save some of it. But even then, he could also just try to like, he has 70% of it. So maybe he can figure the rest of it out with enough books and a research team. I don't know how much time, like, what type of time scale we have. But I'm guessing we don't have a shit ton of time, considering we just killed a team of doppelgangers and Voltov now knows we're onto him.
Yeah.
I still think the maze is something, unless that was what you lied to us about, Cedric, in which case I'm going to throw a pen at you from Jersey. You're just gonna be sitting there, and a pen's gonna come from the sky, and you're gonna be like, "The fuck."
I mean, the thing.
Lying
it's-
is a very strong word.
Yeah, exactly. It's not lying. It's guesswork from what the Ifrit told him. So he was basically just guessing from what, or the Ifrit specifically named the maze, but it might not be. I mean, it might just be him talking about the maze as a powerful thing. It has nothing to do with his plan. That's totally possible.
There you go. You guys, if you check Skype, you've got your choice of what benefits you can be given.
I'm already looking at the list of magic items because I think I know what I want to choose for mine.
So
I
basically,
still
you can choose any four. One of them being a private audience with your guild master, where you can have answered any 3 questions. You can have an uncommon magic item. You can have 10,000 gold, or if you want to burn 2 of your 4 choices, a rare magic item.
Or if you want to burn all 4, 2 rare magic items.
Yes.
So
Or I would also say, if you wanted to burn, I didn't put it on there, but if you want to burn 3 of your choices, you can have a very rare item.
What do you mean a very rare? I think
An
very
item
rare.
marked in the player's handbook as very rare.
So for your option, you would have the Spellguard shield.
No, I already have a good enough shield. I'm not gonna change it.
Velen.
Shit.
Yeah, this is
Take-
one.
Take the rare item. You can get the Sun Forger.
I know.
Get the Sun Forger
Yeah.
and a new Sun Blade.
Get another sword of light. Yes,
Yeah.
that worked out so well for you last time.
Well, it doesn't change the fact that the stronger the item, the harder to change.
You already have such an amazing weapon, though. I mean, you really need a new one.
Can we just add these items right now if we want to?
Yeah.
No,
Just
but
So I'm still
between this week and next, send me a private message letting me know what choices you're making.
we're
Can-
2,000 XP away. Are you okay for leveling up as well, Casey?
Yeah, you will level up after this encounter. Yeah.
so
can I
Madman,
just use
I'm
4?
going,
Yeah.
Madman, I'm going to point out the maze again.
Yeah.
That I think that might be the backup source of their magic.
Mhm.
If you weren't honest about the maze, now is the time to come clean to Dovin so he doesn't look like a total fucking idiot.
I that was true. He was talking about the maze, but that doesn't mean that it's actually the maze. That might just be the Ifrit talking about, hey, there's a great deal of power here. Don't you want to know? Come over to the dark side, boy. We have the maze and shit.
So-
Madman, I will
Yes.
just say before you finish answering Chris here,
Yeah. Okay.
do you want to reread the part of the Ifrit's message
Okay.
that related to the maze?
Okay. Let me check.
Anyhow,
He talked a lot with me, guys. Hang on.
Okay. Because I really think that if they can't get to the Ifrit, that's going to be the next source of power they're going to go for. Because that is a massive source of power. Even if it's just like finding a way to siphon the Supreme Verdict. Actually, you know what? Dovin's going to turn to Amira and Lavinia because he would know that they were the maze runners. And go, I need to ask something. What happened with the maze?
Okay.
Because if they're going to need another source of power, that's going to be it.
He was talking about it was Niv-Mizzet working on the thing in the middle of the maze, not him. If the Ifrit working on the thing in the maze, so that might be entirely
Well,
unrelated.
he's still going to assume that the maze is another source of power they might use because for him, when the implicit maze happened, all he heard was this was a source of immense power. And if they need a source of immense power, like something that can break reality, that's the maze on Ravnica.
Yeah.
So he's going to turn to Lavinia and Amira and ask, like, what was the maze? Because if they are trying to get another source of power, if they can't get the Ifrit, if that's powerful enough, that's probably what they're going to go for.
When you ask that question, you see them kind of look at each other for a moment. Almost kind of like a shared, almost like a shared trauma of the two of them kind of thinking, do we really have to think about that again? And then Lavinia kind of sighs and she says, the maze The maze is not a source of power for them now. All of the power which resided in the maze now resides within the Guild Pact.
Okay, then. That's not a problem that we need to worry about.
Quick question. +1 weapon, is that rare or uncommon?
Uncommon.
Uncommon, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
+2 is rare?
Yeah.
Yes.
+2 is rare, +3 is very rare.
Can I use all my 4 choices to just have a chat with the missus? Like, yeah.
Like a nice.
Like,
Actually, yeah,
Have
because
some
that
tea.
would be 12 questions that the visit would have to answer.
Yeah. You would get 12 guaranteed answers to your questions.
how's your day?
Hard
Favorite color?
to
I mean, what do you like to eat? Salt.
It's like one of those really bad teenage celebrity interviews. So,
Yeah,
what's your
yeah.
favorite color?
Exactly. It's like, if you
So-
were a music sort.
Please stop. I'm not even a visit, and I'm asking you to stop.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of covered up everything, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, one of my choices is obviously gonna be talk to the missus, because that seems like the smart thing to do.
But
And
the reason I'm asking is because we have to pop out, just do a couple of things before bed. So if there's nothing more,
No, we are going to finish up early tonight, so.
Yep.
We're going to finish here. You guys can level up before next session. Let me know what your choices are, and we'll go from there.
can I ask you another thing though? Can I ask
Mhm.
that we during this week have like a few days in our guilds, etc., to do the things we want to do, so we
Yeah,
can
You
get
can certainly have.
get those on paper now.
like a
Says
very
every-
minor time skip.
Well,
Yeah.
holding staff.
I mean,
every-
bearing in mind that the clock is ticking, that there
Yeah.
are, shadowy wings in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have things that you need to be accomplishing that will help you towards your ends, then yes, I mean that is your choice.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that if we all agree as a team for a couple of days
Yeah.
skip, then that
Sure.
should be probably a good
Yeah,
time to do it now.
that's fine by me.
Yeah, I do have this baton that I've always wanted to work on, and I want to fix my balls.
Yeah, I think everybody has something they need to fix. I have some research to do. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pop out at least. So.
Yep.
See you guys later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take care.
Later on, Kim.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
Chris, did you work out?
Sorry.
You work out both of the items from the descriptions there, Chris? Out of character.
What do you mean?
The ones from Madman's research.
No, actually,
No.
no.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
I think one is Sensei's Divining Top.
No.
So
Because that see the future, change the future. That sounds like Sensei's Divining Top's ability to look at the top 3 cards and then draw and put
No.
it back.
I'll actually give you that one because it was the one that you were flipping out over the artwork for last week.
Oh,
Think about what that does.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That was the one that I assumed that you would get immediately because the art for it was on last week's game.
Okay. I am torn between 2 items.
Could
Anyway,
I- Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Madman.
No, I was just gonna ask if instead of a rare magical item, could I have a rare is-it item that I don't know what
That's
it
where the
could
list
be?
comes from.
What do you mean?
You're going to.
Oh,
really-
you could have anything.
Well,
Oh, I was just thinking about something weird, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like a skateboard.
Oh, you mean something not listed?
Yeah, no, some kind of invention that the is-it have made that like Cedric would have
I could
would have
see
had his
Zidrak
eyes
using a
on.
Mizium mortar. Boom.
Just, I don't know yet what it would be, but I know that I like from the is-it inventions, the list that we have.
Like,
Casey,
I want to invent one of them.
wait, Madman.
Yeah?
Casey, you said 3 choices, and you could take a very rare item?
2.
Yes.
No, 3 was for very rare,
A
2 was
very
for
rare
rare.
is 3.
Oh, okay.
Madman?
Yeah?
On the Is It list of magic items under very rare is a manual of golems. And he immediately starts looking it up.
Hmm.
The 2 very rare items are the Staff of Thunder and Lightning and the Manual of Golems.
Yep.
Now, I'm trying to find a Dagger of Venom because that's my other rare item. But
I love the fact that if you get down into the legendary items, the Orzhov legendary is a Sphere of Annihilation.
fucking Supreme Verdict. Use this action cause a thick black poison blade. The poison remains for 1 minute. An attack on the weapon. If it's a creature, the creature must make it succeed. I'm poison.
I mean, I'm also
Is it
all
items you can get Mizium armor as a rare?
Yes.
I'm also all for just something, a weird invention that might just explode the very first time I use it.
Simic has the Cloak of the Bat.
Well, I mean, I could certainly give you an item that would be of interest like that.
Let me just check out this golem thing.
So, Dovin's thing on his
The-
way out
the
is he's going
Mizium-
to...
The
Sorry.
Mizium armor, Madman, just to let you know.
Uh-huh.
While you're wearing armor, while you're wearing this armor, any critical hit against you becomes a normal hit. And in addition, any magical effect that allows you to make a strength or constitution saving throw for half damage, you take no damage if you succeed.
I don't plan on getting hit.
It still happens quite a lot.
You get hit more often than you think you should.
Yeah. That might be true.
Yeah, I'm going to go through what I want Dovin to do during those days off. One of the things is he's going to resummon Suresh. Actually, on his way out, he's going to look at Lavinia and he's going to ask her something. He's going to ask her if she would be willing to supply him with 2 bodies of convicts. People who were
Who
a detriment... Lavinia.
Are you asking this?
Lavinia. Of convicts. People who were a detriment to society while they're alive, because he's going to make sure that they were a help to society in death.
She thinks about it for a moment, and then she actually turns and looks at, and she says, "Would you obtain these?" And Kia kind of just nods and says, "I can do that."
Okay.
What's this manual shit you were talking about?
It's in the actual manual itself is in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Okay.
The tome contains information and incantations necessary to make a particular type of golem. The DM chooses the type or determines it randomly. To decipher and use the manual, you must be a spellcaster with at least 2 5th-level spell slots. A creature that can't make use of the manual of golems and attempts to take 66 psychic damage.
I cannot use it in that case.
Even when you level?
I have a few levels of rogue also.
That's why. Okay.
I apply interest in weird is it thing that I have seen other people use and I just want to borrow for this critical mission.
Okay.
I mean, I'm all for.
I'm
Drop
also going
me a
to
message through the week.
I'm also going to message Velen and let him know because I'm going to message him and let him know because Velen would have been there when Dovin made this request. Not to kill the zombies because they're literally people who did nothing useful in life and he's trying to make it where they're doing something useful in death. Hopefully that is enough to get him to leave them alone. So.
Yep, we'll go from there.
So far I'm having a Cloak of Elvenkind and a +1 longbow.
I'm probably going to take
Sounds good.
I'm probably going to take the 10G gold the Staff of Swarming Insects, and a Boots of Elvenkind. Those might be good for you too, Pear, because they
Sounds
give you
good.
advantage on stealth checks that involve sound.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about it. I'm just looking at Wondrous items now.
That's actually, I used to have a rogue character. He was a rogue wizard, and that's what he used. I literally had advantage on literally all of my stealth checks at that point because it covered both aspects.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thinking about...
Wait, real quick. What's the limit of
good.
magic items you can have attuned to you? 3?
3, I think.
Okay, so I'll be at my limit then.
3.
Because the Staff of Swarming Insects and the Boots of Elvenkind have to be attuned to me. So
I seldom actually have enforced that in games, but I think in this game we've actually kept the number of items low enough that we can actually do that.
actually, I would not be able to get both then, because the key
No.
rune is an attune item.
No.
So is the signet.
Mm.
So yeah, and I that means I'm already at my limit.
No, I'll actually say it. I'm actually going to rule that the key rune and the signet don't count.
Okay, so then yeah, I'd still be able to. Okay, so that's going to be my thing, son.
Yeah, that human thing doesn't make sense.
Oh.
The slot system, what made like perfect sense. I don't know why they said like that would be an item
so
in how
the way
badass you could
that-
be.
The way that
It was to limit power level.
yeah, Crawford explained like it's basically a strain that the magic is
Pure and
causing on your body.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Like they kind of
Pure
like
and
had...
simple to limit the power level. That
Sure, but you can do
That's-
that by just not giving as many
Okay.
magical items also.
Then-
So
Does that mean that you can actually have like 2 or more cloaks equipped?
No, the slot
Still
thing
a
still
slot.
exists.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's in a much more
nice try
moderate
though.
term.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just wondering.
So
you can no longer have something in every slot.
Okay. yeah, I'm gonna let you all go then, because that's pretty much all Dovin needs.
Yep.
I'll message you privately, Casey, and send you the 3 things. It's literally gonna be those 3 things.
Sounds good.
And then he's probably gonna use some of the money
Alright.
to buy Mood Mark paint for himself later.
And Casey, I will
Makes
just
sense.
also write out the questions right off the bat because I kind of know what I will ask.
Later, guys.
All right,
Yeah.
guys, that was fun.
Yep. Later.
All right. See you.